first of all, I want to give you a big thank you, Bom Yun-su님. You have been a really great help living in the U.S. whenever I need advice. Sometimes I just listen to YouTube when I can sleep well. And then also, thank you, Jason Lim. And then he's also very popular among Korean Americans because his translation is so good. And then we are wondering what he did before. And then we found that he is not a professional translator, but he's doing so good job. So just thank you so much. So about 2 years ago, I moved my job from private to government position for security. However, definitely there's a good thing, but also there's a trade-off. I found that many people do not like changes. So my dilemma is that I work for a hospital, and I'm a pharmacist, and I see a lot of patients who stay at the hospital for a long time are treated with many medications. As a pharmacist, I want to use as less as possible, and then every medication should be justified. So whenever I approach doctors or any prescribers, they have an attitude of why bother? And even my boss told me one day that he tried really hard, but he really couldn't change much. And even though he spent a lot of time, but he really couldn't make a big impact. So he told me that I have my own life, and then I have family. And then you may just do better, like instead of trying that hard, just need to find a balance. So my question is, I always think of patient like my family. So if I were like in the dump, for example, I wouldn't want to take 40 medications a day. However, removing those medications, deleting it is much harder than adding on because they need to monitor. And then they don't want to be responsible for any side effects because of that. So, even though you just told me that you try and then maybe the success rate is only, less than 5% or 8%, how I need to deal with it, with wisdom.
5%로 성공한다고 생각하셨는데 지금 말씀하신 것처럼 내가 이거에 대해서 어떻게 조처를 해야 될지 여쭤보고 싶습니다.
우선 약사가 된 것은 내가 먹고 살기 위해서입니까? 환자를 위해서입니까?
So did you become a pharmacist in order to help people, or did you become a pharmacist because it was a good job?
Yeah, that is kind of old story that, my father allowed me to go to either pharmacy school or no college.
Which college?
So, either just, work without going to college or go to pharmacy school. So I didn't have any other options.
아버지가 해서 저는 선택이 없었습니다.
And then like a part of it definitely for living. However, I want to be helpful for my job, and then that whenever I do a great job, that makes me feel better.
좋은 일을 했을 때 저도 기분이 좋아집니다.
네, 그러니까 첫째. 내가 매일 먹고 살 수 있는 직장이 생겼다 하는 것에 먼저 감사가 필요합니다.
I think at first you have to be grateful for the job you have because it's providing you with a good life.
이 조그만 문제가 이 문제에 너무 집착하게 되면 내가 직장을 갖고 있는 감사를 놓쳐버리기가 쉽습니다.
Because you might lose a sense of that gratitude if you allow yourself obsess too much over this little problem you have.
그래서 어떤 감정이 상해서 그냥 직장을 버릴 수도 있습니다.
And perhaps that might lead you to make a rash decision to give up or quit the job because of that.
나중에 지나보면 또 후회가 되기도 합니다.
And that may linger as a regret after a while.
그래서 첫째 먼저 직장에 대해서 감사하는 자세를 갖는 게
So first and foremost, it's important for you to hold an attitude of gratitude towards the job you have.
근데 어차피 직장에 다니는데
But since you are in this job,
나는 이걸 보고 있습니다.
and I'm benefiting from it,
근데 남한테도 이익이 되면 좋습니다.
But of course, it's good if you can actually share that benefit of your job with
그
others.
환자에게 약을 주는 것은 남에게도 이익을 주는 겁니다.
And to prescribe, to give others, patients, sick patients, drugs or medicines, that's good. You're helping that person.
이것도 좋은 직업이에요.
So it's a great job you have.
근데 자기가 볼 때 약이 너무 지나치게 많은 것은 환자에게 나쁘다고 생각한다면
But if you think that too much drugs for that patient is bad for him,
직장을 잃지 않는 수준에서 꾸준히 노력하는 게 필요합니다.
I think it's important for you to try to bring about change within certain scope so that you don't actually end up losing your job.
그건 포기할 필요가 없습니다.
Because you don't have to give that up.
다른 사람이 뭐라 그러든 건 신경 쓸 필요 없어요.
You don't have to listen to others on how they want you to act.
약사라는 직업적 양심에 따라서
Because you act according to the conscience of yourself as a pharmacist.
약을 과다하게 투여하는 것은 환자에게 해롭다.
And you say, you know what, it's not good for the patient to give that patient too much drug.
약이라는 것은 환자를 돕기 위해서 먹는 건데
Because medicine is supposed to help the patient.
환자를 해치는 투약이라면 그건 약이 아니라 독약이다.
But if that medicine is overprescribed, it's actually hurting the patient, then it becomes bad for it, becomes poison.
그것은 약사로서 해야 할 일이 아니다.
So that's not something that I want to partake in as a pharmacist.
그런 관점에서 꾸준히 저는 운동을 해 나가시기 바랍니다.
So I think I wish that you would engage in this change effort from that perspective.
근데 내가 스트레스를 받는다 하는 것은 운동을 하기 때문에가 아니라 욕심을 내기 때문입니다.
The fact that this causes you conflict or suffering is not because you're engaging in this change effort. It's because you desire your effort to have a certain result.
즉 작은 노력을 하고 큰 변화를 빨리 추구하기 때문에
What you're actually doing is you want to see big results, big changes based on the small effort you have put in.
개인이든 사회든 변화는 굉장히 어렵습니다.
Because whether it's an individual or society as a whole, change is very difficult.
매우 꾸준히 해야 됩니다.
It requires constant and consistent effort.
저는 지난 25년 동안 한반도 평화와 북한 주민의 굶주림을 해결하려고 노력을 했습니다.
I engaged in the effort to bring about peace on the Korean Peninsula, to relieve the suffering of the North Korean people for the last 25 years.
개선됐다기보다는 악화됐다고도 볼 수 있습니다.
You know what? It has not improved. Maybe it's even worsened.
이럴 때는 어떤 마음을 가져야
Then
되느냐?
how should I view this?
실패한 게 아니라
Did I fail? No.
밤이 깊으면 새벽이 가깝다.
So I think, you know what? The night is always the darkest before the dawn.
이게 해결되길 다 돼갈 때인가 보다.
So I think maybe it's time for this to resolve.
이런 긍정적 사고를 가지고 꾸준히 해 나가시기 바랍니다.
So I hope you hold on to your positive attitude towards change and be consistent in your effort.
더 크게 보면
And in a larger picture,
환자를 위해서라기보다
whether it's not for the patient,
이렇게 살아갈 때
so when you're living a life with this meaning,
내가 내 삶에 만족을 할 수가 있습니다.
then you are better satisfied with your life.
눈을 감을 때
So when you close your eyes,
후회하지 않는 삶을 살 수가 있다.
you're able to die without lingering regrets.
이걸 남을 위해서 한다니까 지칩니다.
So it becomes fatiguing if you think you're doing something for somebody else.
그래서 나를 아름답게 갖고 가는 삶입니다.
But if this is an effort, it's a matter of nurturing yourself.
그런 관점을 가진다면
If that's the perspective you hold,
꾸준히 해나갈 수 있지 않겠나 싶습니다.
then I think you can sustain this effort.
Thank you. Thank you for helping me awaken. Thank you.
수행이라고 하는 것은 어떤 형식을 말하는 게 아닙니다.
A spiritual practice, quote unquote, does not refer to a certain format or
절을
methodology.
한다든지
It's not about bowing.
명상을
It's
한다든지
not about meditation.
연부를 한다든지
It's not about chanting.
그것은 그냥 하나의 수단일 뿐입니다.
Those are just ways, methods.
우리는 그 형식에 자꾸 집착을 하게 됩니다.
But we tend to focus on what's visible, on the method itself.
가장 중요한 것은 자기 마음의 상태를 점검해야 합니다.
The most important thing, the essence of practice, is to examine where your mind is.
이게 지금 들떠있는지 평화로운지,
Am I too excited? Am I calm?
이게 지금 괴로운지 괴롭지 않는지,
Am I suffering or am I not suffering?
자기의 행동을 점검해 봐야 합니다.
To look at your own behavior.
이게 지금 다른 사람에게 손해를 끼치는지 아닌지,
Am I causing loss or harm to others or not?
이렇게 자기를 점검해 보면 됩니다.
To always constantly investigate yourself.
죽어서 극락을 갈지 안 갈지, 천당을 갈지 안 갈지 이게 중요한 게 아닙니다.
What's important is not whether you go to heaven or hell after you die.
이렇게 살아가면
But if you live the way you want to,
만약에 천당이 있다면
if there is a heaven,
나 빼고 누가 가겠냐 이런 자부심이 있어야
and
됩니다.
to have the prize, you know what? I deserve to be there.
이건 성경에 제가 근거를 대려면 될 수 있습니다.
You know, I think I can actually quote the scripture, Bible, for this.
집에 가서 한번 찾아보세요.
I think you can go home and look for this verse.
마태복음 25장
I think it's 25, Matthew 25,
31절부터
verse 31
46절까지
to 46.
어떻게 해야 천국에 갈 수 있는지
This tells you how you can reach heaven.
6가지를 말하고 있습니다.
It tells 6 things.
배고픈 자를 돕고
Feed the hungry,
먹이고
feed the hungry,
아픈 자를 치료하고
cure the sick,
목마른 자에 물을 주고
give water to the thirsty,
나그네 된 자를 영접하고
host the vagabonds,
그 다음에 헐벗은 자의 옷을 입히고
clothe the unclothed,
그 다음에 그 감옥에 갇힌 자를 이렇게 위문하고
and visit those imprisoned. Give comfort to those in prison.
이것이 바로 이 세상에서 가장 작은 자에게 한 것이 곧 나에게 한 거다고 말했습니다.
And he said, what you do to the least of them, us, you do it to me.
그러니까 어떻게 사느냐가 중요한 거예요.
So it's how you live your life that's important.
그래서 내 상태가 어떠냐?
So where am I today?
내가 지금 이 마음의 상태 그리고 이 행위의 상태가 어떠냐를 점검하면 됩니다.
How am I behaving today? Asking yourself this question.
뭐 혼자 사는 게 괴로움의 원인은 아닙니다.
Living by yourself is not a cause for suffering.
같이 사는 게 괴로움의 원인도 아니에요.
Living with others is not the cause of your suffering.
가난하다고 그게 원인이 아니에요.
Poverty is not the cause of your suffering.
늙은 것도 원인이 아니에요.
Old age is not a cause for suffering.
늙은 게 뭐가 문제예요?
You know, what's wrong with age?
공부도 안 해도 되고
You don't have to go to school anymore.
직장도 안 다녀도
You
되고
don't have to go to work.
애도 안 키워도 되고
You don't have to raise a child.
따져보면 좋은 게 어마어마하게 많습니다.
Actually, if you think about it, being old is great.
그러니까 우리는 자꾸 괴로움의 원인, 자기가 괴로울 수밖에 없다 이렇게 생각해요.
Because we always think that we have no choice but to suffer.
여러분들은 누구나 다 행복하게 살 권리가 있습니다.
All of you have the right to live happily,
조건이 어떻든
no matter what conditions you find yourself in.
그렇게 살아가는 삶이 수행입니다.
And living as if you could have the right to be happy under any circumstance, that's practice. That's spiritual practice.
그렇게 행복하게 살아가시기 바랍니다.
And I wish that happiness to all of you.
감사합니다.
Thank you.